Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Mark Fatemi. Getting into our next segment here, we're going to talk a little bit about the Denver Nuggets taking out the Los Angeles Clippers last night. That game being in Denver, one of the biggest, probably easily the biggest playoff game so far this year, in this year's playoffs, outside of possibly this one tonight between the Lakers and the Timberwolves. But yeah, the Denver Nuggets taking the Clippers out 131 to 115, and honestly, what was probably the best performance we've seen from this Nuggets team in the playoffs in, do I want to say years? No, but easily these playoffs. Watching this game right off the bat, this Denver Nuggets team that showed up in Denver last night, that was not the team from last year. That was not the team of this year. That was not the team that fired Mike Malone immediately, that won a few games, that lost game two, lost game three in decisive fashion. This looked like the Nuggets squad that can beat anybody. Jamal Murray finished with 43 points, his best performance of the playoffs so far this year by far. Arguably one of the best playoff performances of the playoffs so far, going 17 of 26, 65% from the field, 8 of 14 from three-point range. They relied on his hot hand a lot in this game, especially when the Clippers started climbing back into this one. It was the shooting of Jamal Murray that gave the Nuggets more confidence and gave them more ease going as they moved forward through this game. Also, the shooting of Russell Westbrook is something that we must talk about if we're going to talk about this game. Russell Westbrook finishing with 21 points. Just overall, we know Russell Westbrook has had a little bit of a tough season so far. We remember back in the day with Minnesota, a few weeks, about a month ago now. Wow, that was a month ago. With Russell Westbrook first missing a game-winning layup in double overtime, and then going back on the defensive end and fouling the guy this was against the Minnesota Timberwolves, fouling, I believe it was Nikola Alexander-Walker in the corner, and ultimately losing that game. Tonight, or last night, I should say, he cleaned up his act. Plain and simple. Shot 8 of 15, shot 3 of 6 from three-point range, 21 points for Russell Westbrook. I believe he shot 3 threes in a row. He had 16 points in the first half. Russell Westbrook had a game last night, and I'm so happy to see him back in the successful category, back with his name, with good news, with his name when his name is in the news, back in the good column, good news column, just back, just overall back. I'm happy to see Russell Westbrook back, somebody that deserves, possibly is still competing for a championship with this Nuggets squad. But yeah, major props to Russell Westbrook in his play last night, because if it wasn't for his offense, I don't think the Nuggets come out and win this one the way they did. But as much as I say the scoring of this one was so important, I've said it all series long, and it proved itself once again. The rebounding of the Denver Nuggets is too much for this Clippers team to handle. They can box out Aaron Gordon sometimes. They can box out Michael Porter Jr. sometimes. They can box out Russell Westbrook. That's fine. But you can only really do 3 at a time. Jokić finished with 10 rebounds in this one. Christian Braun finished with 12 rebounds in this one. A double-double for Christian Braun. A triple-double for Nikola Jokić, only finishing with 13 points, more of a lackluster offensive performance from him, only shooting 4 of 13. It's going to be really interesting to see if Jokić is possibly dealing with an injury right now, because it's been kind of a consistent factor since Mike Malone was fired, whether it's a scheme thing, whether it's an injury thing. We've seen his shot percentages kind of take a dip for a little bit, and this is the most staggering dip so far. We saw him go from about 35 points to about 25 points a game, but we haven't really seen him score under 15 points in a while. So this is new. It's gonna be really interesting to see if any news comes out about an injury, but. I'll keep you guys posted if anything comes out about that. But for now, all we can do is sit and watch and analyze what we have here. Still with a triple-double. Christian Braun with the double-double. Aaron Gordon with 23 points. Aaron Gordon continuing to be an X factor in this series for the Denver Nuggets. Like I've said time and time again, he is one of the best. When he can go off for 25 plus points, he can go off for 5, 6, 7 plus rebounds. This Denver Nuggets, who is beating this Denver Nuggets team when you have Jokić on one side, Aaron Gordon being a two-way player, being able to score, being able to defend, being able to rebound. When you have Jamal Murray playing as well as he did last night, when you have Christian Braun going off for a double-double, when you have Russell Westbrook coming off the bench and going off for 21 points. What else do you want from a team like this? The Clippers, that was the best Denver Nuggets team. This was an equivalent of the Denver Nuggets team that won the NBA Finals 2 years ago. To put it into perspective. And the Clippers didn't even have a bad game. Zubac led the team with 27 points. Kawhi with 20 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. Was one off of a triple-double. The only person I can really point to and say you didn't really have a great game is James Harden, and he had 11 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He only took 9 shots in the game. Something we don't really expect. We expect him to shoot a little bit better or a little bit more volume in general. But 3 for 9, 0 of 2 from 3-point range. He didn't get he just couldn't get it going early, and I believe he had some turnovers as well. He had 4 turnovers in this game. So overall, we know how James Harden can play. We know he can play better than what he did. So if you want to point the blame at somebody, I guess you can point it at him. But even then, Kawhi Leonard 8 of 15 from the field. Norman Powell 5 of 12 from the field. We know Norman Powell can play better than that, so I guess you can say that as well. Chris Dunn putting in 15 points. Bogdanovich with 18 points. Like they got guys that came off the bench. They did well. They came off the bench and produced. They had good production from their team overall. So, I guess what I'm getting at is the rebounding of the Denver Nuggets is what I continue to say is going to give them the series win. If they win this series, it is going to be because of rebounding. They're too big for the Clippers to handle, and as good as Kawhi Leonard is, it seems like he's the only one that's rebounding for this team. Outside of Zubac, Zubac's only with 5 rebounds in this game. How are you 7 feet tall with 5 rebounds? Come on, Zubac. So I guess they're rebounding. Rebounding needs to improve for this Clippers team if they want to win Game 6, and if they damn well want to go into Denver and win a Game 7, they have to learn how to box out. Ty Lue needs to get in their ear over these next couple days. And if I'm in practice, if I'm Ty Lue, I'm getting in everybody's ears. Honestly, specifically Ivica Zubac. Getting in his ear, and I don't know if you got to put... What do you have to... If you want to put, like, one of those shoulder pads that football players use, like the offensive tackles use, that they use to push around, if you want to use that to learn how to practice boxing out, he needs to play better than what he did. He needs to learn to get better at the box out, to get better at the rebounding position. Because if he cannot lead the way for this Clippers team in rebounding, they have no chance. They have no chance. Zubac has to set the example as the center for this team. He cannot be a straight scorer, and he is right now. He shot 11 of 15, so he was very active in the paint. 2 blocks as well. Only 1 turnover. So he didn't have a bad game overall. But we just need him. He needs to be better from the rebounding block. And I'm not 100% sure if the Nuggets threw a different scheme at him, if they were doubling him on the post, if that's why Aaron Gordon and Jokić were getting active in the post with Christian Braun, maybe triple teaming him. But he needs to figure that. They need to figure that out. If he's getting triple teamed, get somebody else in the mix. Get a Kawhi Leonard in the mix. Get Derek Jones Jr., who's incredibly athletic, in the mix. Get somebody out there to get some extra rebounds. That's what you need. That's my rant on this one. I think the series goes 7 games regardless. I think the Clippers win Game 6. I don't know about how decisively it will be. I think the Nuggets have a lot of momentum right now, winning Game 4 on that dunk by Aaron Gordon, winning Game 5 pretty decisively on their home floor. But yeah, we just need to see some better offensive production, some better rebounding from this Clippers team if they're going to win this game or win this series in general. If they're going to win Game 6 or win this series, regardless. But I'll have more of an update on this as this series, this Game 6 of this series is on Friday night. So we'll have a little bit more of a perspective of how this series is going then. Or, sorry, Game 6 of this series is Thursday night. Game 7 will be on Saturday. So we'll have more of a perspective on this tomorrow when I preview that game. But I'm going to take another short break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the Indiana Pacers taking out the Milwaukee Bucks last night. Tyrese Halliburton with a game winner. Unbelievable performance from him. They were down. Absolute unbelievable comeback from the Indiana Pacers, going on a 40-22 run in the second and early third quarter, falling behind 30-13 to start the game. Overall, it's just going to be, I'm going to cover this whole game and we're going to recap everything. And then possibly if you have some extra time, preview Cavs versus Pacers in the first round. Don't go anywhere.